coming from the perspective of students. Administration and lawmakers sat down with high schoolers to discuss school safety.
The goal was to hear safety concerns, learn what makes them feel safe and what they need to grow in their environment.
WMTV's Cameron Kelly joins us in the studio. Cameron, Deforest Area High School was just one of the many stops throughout the state.
That's right. After the discussion, Attorney General Josh Call and the executive director of the Office of School Safety provided insight into the conversation. Students say they feel safe when there is a plan in place, although it's scary to think about. One student says active shooter safety drills help him to stay calm. Another mentioned constant communication between staff and students makes a difference.
Kids don't learn if they don't feel safe. Brain science tells us when we're feeling anxious, when we're feeling scared, we're less likely to retain information and learn new information.
The Office of School Safety also provides a free anonymous 24/7 tip line. It's called Speak Up, Speak Out, and it is available to schools across the state. Since its launch in 2020, they have received 11,000 tips. Live in the studio, Cameron Kelly, WMTV 15 News.